Hey everyone, I'm Brittany and I am going to talk about the graphic novel I just read, The Best We Could Do. The Best We Could Do by Thi Bui is a story of grappling with identity and learning to understand how family experiences can shape who we are. As the story opens, Thi is in labor. Her son is on his way, but things do not go according to plan. Thi is forced to endure hours of painful labor with her husband at her side, but without the support of her mother. When her son is finally born and Thi dons this new identity as a mother, she begins to wonder about her own parents' histories. Thi and her family are Vietnamese refugees. They arrived in the United States in 1978. Throughout the graphic novel, Thi explores her family's history in an attempt to better understand the people her parents became. On page 36, Bui helps us understand how this journey began, illustrating the hole that leaving Vietnam created in her. She writes, "Soon after that trip back to Vietnam, our first since we escaped, I began to record our family history, thinking that if I bridged the gap between the past and the present, I could fill the void between my parents and me. And if I could see Vietnam as a real place and not a symbol of something lost, I would see my parents as real people and learn to love them better." Bui weaves together the stories of her parents' lives through flashbacks, offering glimpses of what life was like during the conflict between North and South Vietnam. On page 92, we see Thi as a little girl, struggling to understand her father. Through this series of panels, we see images of each of them represented at different ages, juxtaposed over one another. Thi as a child with her father smoking a cigarette, Thi and her father both as children, and finally, both depicted as adults. Bui tells us, "To understand how my father became the way he was, I had to learn what happened to him as a little boy. It took a long time to learn the right questions to ask." Bui's vivid illustrations of her parents' lives, paired with her own reflections on growing up as a refugee, will have you just as eager as Bui to understand who her parents really are and what their experiences were like. Memoirs and family histories told through graphic novels are poignant, giving you the chance to truly experience life through the eyes of the author. Two moving examples of this, aside from The Best We Could Do, are Mouse 1 and 2 by Art Spiegelman and The Complete Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. In Mouse, Spiegelman shares his father's experiences as a Jewish survivor of the Holocaust. As with Bui, Spiegelman struggles to understand the person his father has become and the events that shaped his life. The Complete Persepolis tells the story of Satrapi's life in Tehran during the Islamic Revolution and her search for personal identity. Readers young and old will be drawn into The Best We Could Do. Bui's striking illustrations and detailed narrative create a heart-wrenching tale of love, war, and the sacrifices of parenthood.